Hello, friends from the comic book and manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the manga new releases for August 2026. Hector and we work for Penguin Random House, so the titles that you'll see on this presentation today are publishers that we represent. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at PRH International Comics, where we'll post some news and updates on those channels. And if you're new to this, we go ahead and start off with our personal picks for the month. Then we'll go into some highlights, including volume one highlights, and then we'll leave you with the rest of the list of continuing volumes that are releasing in August. So we'll go ahead and get started with our picks today. And actually, first up is me. So this is 13 Demons Dead. We have the main character who is a 14-year-old Everly, who is walking home one night when she spots her favorite teacher, Father Serrano. And her teacher is suspended in midair, choking and being ripped apart by something that she cannot see, which is terrifying to run
Ooh.
into. And so, acting on pure instinct, Ev swings this pipe that she finds that they find nearby, and shatters the illusion, exposing this monstrous demon in the middle of her school. And so, with this lucky shot, the creature is dead, and so Ev's life is kind of normal, I guess. Um, by killing one of Earth's 13 hidden demons, Ev unknowingly triggered this ancient covenant, and she's being marked as the latest demon hunter, and the remaining 12 demons are already coming for her. So the rules are basically simple: to be merciless even when you're this young, because more powerful, more vicious monsters will come utterly unstoppable. So this is a high octane black and white manga inspired graphic novel by writer Adam Tierney, who did work on Teen Titans Go, and artist Sapsi. So brutal action, emotional stakes, very cinematic, monster slaying. This seems really cool, and yeah, it's my pick for this month.
That's right. And then, oops, sorry. Next up is one of my picks. This is The Devils in the Lunch Deals, Volume 1 by Ishiko. And this is a very cool premise. So here you see Lainey, who with the den chicken, which I still haven't figured out the chicken, but anyways, Lainey is just a normal human who shares a home with a talented but skittish singer at a local inn, and Lainey sells bento boxes in town, and that seems like normal and it's very slice of life, but in truth, this is uh, Solange, a goddess in a human form, and she was worshipped in the north country of this world as the goddess of harvest and death. And because of some mess up, uh, it just the north and the south started this war because of her and her identity, basically, and who she is. Uh, and because of this, she has to atone for it. So her punishment is to live as a human, selling bento boxes and helping one person a day until she atones completely. Now it sounds very cool, very neat, and I love that the already the illustrations on the covers. I love the interiors are like this too. And I was researching on it, and there's going to be a lot of concentrate a lot on not just the characters themselves, and it's one of those stories that has several characters. One of the characters is the king's brother, who one day decides to go into town, that's in disguise, of course, and he eats Lainey's bento and just goes crazy over it, obsesses, and so it's one of those stories. But I looking at reviews online, I found this one paragraph that I want to read because I think it's very cool about the genre of food manga, but also especially about this one. And the writer says, which brings me to a point. I love food manga and comics, and I love Japanese food too. But no one loves Japanese food as much as Japanese comic artists. The detail in which artists explained how to make and eat a bento, the art that is so carefully depicts, say, a rolled omelette, is painful and exquisite. The town is bare, the streets and buildings are simple, to say the least. But the bento boxes, they get narration. So I already love that. I already loved everything before that, but as soon as I read that, it's just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be amazing. So definitely, if you're a fan of slice of life, and definitely if you're a fan of food manga, this is for you.
Okay, next up, this is when this was first launched, I could already imagine screams because this is a very fan favorite Danmei, and this is Little Mushroom getting a deluxe hardcover novel treatment. This is the volume one. It is a very, very interesting and unique concept, which I'm going to explain here. I will say this is an all new translation and also illustrations and inside. So this is set in a future Earth that is ravaged by radiation, and the North Base is basically humanity's last bastions of survival, and that survival depends on keeping non-human life forms out at all costs. So Anju, which is who is this mushroom disguised as a human, knows that stepping foot into the northern base is a risk of instant extermination. But he has no choice. The humans have taken his spore, and he is instinctually driven by the need to reclaim it. And so his mission depends on him passing as a human. And while Anju is able to fool the base and its advanced technology, he is unlikely to like he has the keen eye of this handsome, merciless judge that is, as the name implies, very hard to fool. And so, a man licensed to kill to keep the northern base safe from parasites and invaders, he has to deal with him. So, can Anju survive under the watch of those beautiful eyes? And so, very interesting concept. Each deluxe hardcover release features special embellishments. So, a dust jacket featuring, like I said, all new art, new illustrations against the hardcover itself, and beautiful printed edges. So it is gonna get a very, very gorgeous treatment. And yes, this is coming out of on August 4th.
Excellent. And then we continue with Hotel Inhumans Volume 1 by Ao Tajima. This is, I mean, it says check into the luxury hotel that has a killer staff and it's more than it appears. This is the manga inspired by that inspired the hit anime and finally makes it to English print. And I'm really excited because I love this anime and I've been wanting to read the manga. I love the characters in here, and this is sort of imagine Hotel Continental in John Wick, but more extreme and more how do I say it? Well, here's the thing. It's a hotel, like it says, for assassins. So if you're an assassin and you're part of the association, you have the rights to stay at this hotel. But not only this, but you have the use of the concierge. And there's two of them. There's this woman right here. I forget her name right now. Sorry about that. Sarah. I should have remembered that, and she's very powerful and agile and she has that knife that actually she uses to hold her hair in place, but she takes it out and her hair goes everywhere. Also there's Ikuro, who is the other concierge, who is not as skilled in physically, but very highly intelligent, and he's a big tactician. And the plot is you come in as an assassin, you stay in this hotel, you're safe here, but not only that, you can ask the concierge to do whatever you want for you. They will do anything, and it goes from eliminating people to like finding lost relatives, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about the first story because each this sort of very episodic. The first one, this assassin comes in, he gets almost killed. He says gets betrayed by his association, and you find out that he was taken in at a very young age, and his sister was kidnapped, and he was being forced to become an assassin and assassinate um, in order to save his sister for years and years and years. And every year on his birthday, he would get a voicemail from his sister, but he doesn't know where she is. But now that they betrayed him and tried to kill him, he has the concierge to find his lost sister. So that's sort of the kind of thing. It's very there's a lot of action. There's a lot of drama. There's twists. There's so many twists in some of the stories, and there's some very interesting characters. And there's some extreme stuff out of the ridiculously extreme stuff. Um, but it's a very very cool story, and I love stories about hotels. For some reason, I'm obsessed with it. Maybe because I work at a hotel at one point. I don't know, but I highly recommend it. And yeah, definitely, it's a very cool read for sure. There you go. And I can't. Oh, there you go. Sorry.
Right. My next pick has a really cool cover. This is the Lucky Egg game. So we have an architecture student, Linju, who never expected his Friday night to end in bloodshed. So after receiving a lucky egg, he is dragged into this deadly game where survival isn't a goal. It is, I say isn't a goal, but it is the goal.
It is the goal.
It's the only rule is to survive. Um, so when the brilliant and unreadable medical student named Song Hanjiang saves his life, Linju forms an ironclad bond with this man who reveals nothing and misses nothing. And so the two must rely on each other to survive the brutal trials of this devil's hunting ground, from ravenous creatures to equally desperate players. So in this ruthless game, trust might actually be the most dangerous gamble of all. So as alliances fracture, morality slips away, the true questions come to light. Who is actually pulling the strings? And when the last dawn rises, will Song Hanzhang still be standing at Linju's side? So very intense, intense story right here that I am very excited to dip my eyes into. So yes.
Awesome. And then we continue with saving a weapon shop from bankruptcy after the Demon King's defeat. Light novel, volume one. And as the title suggests, this is a world where the Demon Kings has been defeated and the world is at peace. So obviously, there's no need for weapons anymore. So we're looking into this weapon shop, a family business, and a young man leading, this family business and trying to figure out what to do because people are not buying weapons anymore. And on top of that, his father and his sister are sick, and he's sort of trying to. When he is almost at the end, sort of like I'm just gonna give up on everything, his little sister comes up with a plan, which I researched a little bit. I didn't go too far, but I couldn't find what the plan is, and I think it's better not to know what the plan is. It doesn't. They don't tell you the plan on the summaries everywhere that I found, and I guess it's for a reason. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. You have to read it to find out, and I can't wait to read it to find out what the plan is and how they're gonna uh, kind of bring back the or trying to make their family survive after this bad economy for weapon shops. So there you go. That's it. Very simple. And then next up, we got these. And we already had a batch of playing cards with anime characters on them. And should I say anime or manga? I can't tell. I think they're anime ones. So we got Bleach, we got Rama Half, we got Ghost in the Shell Arise, and we have Seven Deadly Sins, but we also have like Attack on Titan and some other ones. But these four are coming out in August. Um, and they're just like you can see examples of what the cards are going to look like next to the boxes. And then on top of that, there's also going to be a Bleach Bankai Battle Roll and Clash game. This is from Don't Panic Games. And it's just a role-playing game, basically, with characters from Bleach. And I put here also an example of what the piece is going to look like and what the rules for the movements are. And it's going to include everything that you see on the top there with the sort of the cards and some of the die and some of the pieces, etc. There you go.
All right, and then we're heading into volume one. Oh, I just jumped in. Yeah, I just got excited
Yeah.
for it. Um, First up is Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life, married to her worst enemy, short story collection light novel. There's plenty of stories to tell when getting reincarnated 7 times. So you can dive into this delightful collection of short stories featuring Mishi and other favorites from Seventh Time Loop. And don't forget to check out the light novel and the manga, also available from Seven Seas. We have the Appleseed Deluxe Edition. Before Ghost in the Shell came Appleseed Shinro Masumun's visionary science fiction manga series, now available in Dark Horse's acclaimed deluxe hardcover format, featuring wraparound cover art, full color end sheets, ribbon bookmark, and gilded edges. The death-defying princess creates a Yuri harem to survive Volume 1, a reincarnation Yuri girls love manga about a villainess determined to avoid her deadly fate and the woman she must seduce in order to stay alive. This is featuring the artists of Lord Marksman and Vendis, also available from Seven Seas. And we have Draw This, Then Die, Volume 1. To be an artist is to sacrifice everything for your craft. One wannabe manga artist is about to experience the reality of being a creator when she decides to jump into the world of manga. So the award-winning manga series about the ups and downs of creating manga and being an artist, and it's soon to become an anime.
Yes. And we continue with Girl Meets Rock, Volume 1. Just Wanna Rock. Girls Just Wanna Rock. I guess yeah, I get it, mixing those two songs. Anyways, the award winning manga about a high school music club is finally available in English print. Then we get Hidden Love Novel Volume 1, the novel that inspired the hit Chinese drama streaming on Netflix, a sweet story about a high school crush that might just become a real chance at romance. Then we continue with Luna Night Volume 1. A young woman with little memory of her past is thrust into a world of fighting, guns, and killing after mobsters burn down her sister's flower shop, an action-packed series about a sleeper agent and her quest for revenge and answers. And then we have Magic Repo Man, dumped by my party. I'll hash in with a cute support fairy to become the strongest. Volume 1. In this brand new fantasy adventure, a young man gains the power to loan magic to others, but they better make sure that they read the fine print. A manga that proves everything comes with strings, even magic. And don't miss the upcoming anime.
Right. The misdeeds of an extremely arrogant villain aristocrat. This is the manga volume one. When one man is reborn into a fantasy novel as the villain doomed for disaster, he decides to take fate into his own hands. Can he rewrite his destiny or he's meant for ruin? It's an isekai adventure about changing fate for better or worse. The manga inspired by the hit light novel, also available from Seven Seas. Next, we have My One-Sided Love, Volume 1. I like the cover. It's good. Indeed, one-sided.
Yeah.
As a talented and successful editor, EG's biggest concern is how clingy Kaidi can be. Even during the busiest times, right before a deadline, Kaidi would rather wrap his arms around EG in their private lives. EG plays along to go on little dates with Kaidi in place of Kaidi's ex. Little does naive Ichi know Kaidi is trying to push his way into Ichi's life in hopes of becoming something even more. And next, The Princess Groom, Volume 1, a love story of a brooding prince with a needy side and a dashing beauty who sweeps him off his feet. So these are two needy
Needy
characters.
guys, I guess. Yeah.
If you want it, you can have it in this manga. And we have Punari is a kawaii slime omnibus. Includes volumes 1 to 2. A totally new take on the slime craze. When one boy's slime suddenly turns into an adorable girl, things take a turn for the silly and slimy in this sweet series, inspiration for the hit anime now streaming.
All right, and we continue with Punk's Triangle Stitch Volume 1, the sequel series to the hit boys love manga Punk's Triangle. Now that Chiaki is dating a popular model and his idol, life couldn't be better. But is this new relationship prepare for its first nag? Any comments, G? I'm waiting for you to jump
I
in.
like Punk's Triangle. I cannot wait for this. If you haven't already seen it, there is a live action that I do highly recommend watching in addition to reading it. So you have lots of content to consume.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. That's all
And
I will
then we
say.
have Raoul and his Vampire Prince, Volume 1. An orphan saved by a deceptively youthful looking vampire finds himself forever devoted to the fanged beauty in this boys' love manga. Then we have Reincarnated in a Mafia Dating Sim light novel, Volume 1. Romantasy Ex Mafia, the original light novel for the popular reincarnation mafia fantasy manga by Toko Amekawa, the author of Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. Is now coming to English print. Manga adaptation volumes 1 to 5 currently out, and manga and anime adaptation announced. And then we have Sanctuary Priestess Volume 1. Misaki, born into the prestigious Kino family, is in training to become a priestess and follow her family's footsteps. However, her father and brother both label her as the shame of their family for being too clumsy. Little do they know Misaki harbors hidden power that allows her to control spirits through a hole in her hand. Ooh.
Right. We have Space Orc, Barbarian Raider, or the Stars Aiming for the Queen, light novel volume 1. One orc is ready to take on the entire galaxy to win the heart of his beloved queen. It's a funny and flirty sci-fi adventure about an orc barbarian and his rampage across the universe. This is featuring the artist of Might As Well Cheat. I got transported into another world where I can live my wildest dreams. Also available from Seven Seas. Next, we have a spicy cover with spicy milk candy, a hidden sadist, and an unaware masochist. What a combination.
Yeah.
Zumi is perfect. Student council president, top of his class, always composed. No one would have guessed that he's secretly dating Ichi, his sweet, soft-spoken classmate and the school's beloved prince. Ichi is usually so gentle with Uzumi until the day that he isn't. And suddenly, gentle is no longer enough. And then next is Walking in Your Tracks, Volume 1. This heartfelt, emotional boys' love drama with disability representation explores themes of grief and depression. And then on the slide, finally, we have You Might As Well Be the One, Volume 1. College girl Ichika's looking for love, and her new friend Kosai's perfect. He's kind, cute, and loves all the same movies, except he's looking to keep it casual. She knows she must not fall for him, and yet, dot,
Oh.
dot, 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 dot,
Mm-hmm.
exclamation point. That can't be not good, but
Yeah,
you can read about all that drama.
exactly. And that's it for the volume ones, right?
Mhm, mhm. I think yes.
Yes, that is it. I'm just saying.
Oh, this is me.
This is where you're supposed to say
I'm
something.
supposed to end this. Okay. Thank you all for listening to us and our picks, our volume ones. We will get off the screen here, but we do recommend continuing on because there are other volumes obviously coming out in August. So thank you all. Hector and I, we really enjoy doing these. So comment down below on what you'll be picking up in August. That's it. Bye, everyone.